And it's going to be a great clash this afternoon.
All right, opening bounce. Richmond taking on the Dockers. Umpires this afternoon, Shane Stewart, Ray Chamberlain and Chris Callens. Underway. Sandilands early with the knee into Graham. Just a lazy 53 hit-outs last week for big Sandilands.
53.
Fair job, career high. Graham will put it high. Rewalt to Fly, gets up way too early. Bouncing ball back of the pack. Miller shut down by Ibbison. It's a dangerous ball. Grover kept alive by the Tigers. Fremantle under early pressure. They work it free for the moment. Broughton, quick kick. Bouncing ball.
Great early matchup, Swatter. David Mundy is going with Trent Cotchin. They're going to go head-to-head. That'll be a ripper.
Yeah, so I think McPhee's gone to Delidio as well.
Surprised by that matchup?
Well, as we speak, he's tried to go to Pavlich, Trent Cotchin.
Cotchin, there's the kick on cue, round the corner up towards Vickery in front of Johnson. Bouncing ball, Jake King. He's there to put that sort of pressure on. Edwards kept it alive. Nahas, opening shot on goal. Bouncing ball. Tigers off to a flyer.
And Nahas as well. I think he did it last week, getting the first goal of the game. Good to have Jack Rewalt and Vickery down there to provide a big long bomb in, but Nahas, he's just got to get front and square and make the most of his opportunities. He's a good, hard in and under player, and as we said, we've got him and King down there to do that today. So a good start by Richmond is exactly what they needed to do, is to have a fast start, get Fremantle onto the back foot, don't let them settle into the MCG. So perfect start for Richmond.
Dream start for Richmond. Robin Nahas, 1 goal to go with his 3-goal one from last week. He was goalless up until that game. That's just the start that Damien Hardwick would have asked for his players, as Mark Rasciuto said in the preview, that they haven't won a first quarter this year. Well, that's an encouraging start for Richmond. Small crowd at the MCG, overcast conditions. Sandilands, sharked by Mundy. Squeezed the handball to Pavlich. A little bit too much on it. Martin dispossessed. Good contest, the old and the new. Mundy, good tackle by Newman. A little bit unlucky. Ridden into the back, free kick to Mundy.
It'll be the first time they get a chance to actually go forward in the first few minutes of this match, the Dockers. And a good early test for the Tigers' defence. They've got plenty of numbers back.
Big fly by Pavlich. Clean grab over the top, stole it off Cotchin.
Well, that's just better judgment. I mean, Trent Cotchin was in front. He actually leapt to try and take the mark, but he misjudged it. He was underneath the footy, and Matty Pavlich, this is the one area of his game that has let him down. We know he's a star player. He's dominated for the Dockers for many, many years, but this is where he has his biggest problem, when he's looking at those 2 big white sticks.
1 goal late in front of goal. His only blemish in an otherwise terrific season once again. Let's see if he can be perfect Pav. He can't.
That's where he misses a lot of them. He kicks a lot of them right, and he actually looks to have a good approach to the footy. You just have to think it's more psychological than it actually is technique for Matty Pavlich.
Well, it's a fair thing to say, Chief. He doesn't miss by a lot.
No, because he has a nice straight run-up, and he's normally a very good kick of the footy. But we know that goal kicking's as much above the shoulders as it is about technique.
McGuan, Sandilands thumps it sideways. Mundy to De Boer. Nahas, like his energy. Pavlich goes again. Got to shut down the big 3, according to Glenn Jakovic. Pavlich, Sandilands and Mundy.
You know, I saw Robin Nahas last week, I reckon, play just about his best game for Richmond. He's coming up the field, he's getting involved more, and he's really enjoying the freedom of running around.
So does Edwards. Weaves through traffic. Jackson back in after a suspension. Quick kick. Attacking it was Johnson. He'll reload. Mundy. No, it's McPhee. Had to go. Good contest by Delidio.
Gee, they've got Noah's on the far side of the ground. If he can switch it up, Delidio. He should have, but he ignores it.
Chipping ball. Not good.
Wrong option.
Dropped by Johnson. Mundy to mop up. Fair bit of the early play inside Richmond's forward 50. McPhee's just given one to Delidio in the midriff. The umpire didn't see it. Got away with one there. Fife fired the handball. Newman knew traffic was coming behind but didn't know when. Lower up towards Ballantyne, goes to ground and still manages to take the mark. How does that happen?
Kepler Bradley 1 out with Rance.
And he goes in that direction. Kick is good. Couldn't take the mark. Nice, gets in the way of a teammate. Great control. Round the corner. Where's Mayne? He won't get there in time. Good work by Grimes. Mayne worries him out of it. Gives off a handball. Hill Smooth mover, goes back by foot. That's a nice patient build-up from Fremantle.
On for a left footer too, proving he's got a right foot. A nice little chip pass there from Hill. Sorry, Swannon. Don't take it personally.
Not at all. Got this. Ibbotson with possession, though. Would take his best. Will kick from outside 50. Tigers with the opening goal. Off the boot of Robin Nahas. Ibbotson pulls the trigger. It's a wobbling ball. Does it get the carry? No, good defensive pressure. I think that might be over, in fact.
Another discussion coming.
There you go.
Yep.
Ibbotson with Fremantle's first goal.
It was an ordinary kick off the boot. It was a dead set floater. I reckon it went out to the right and then came back left. But you don't mind when they go through. Take them. It was a real wobbler, but we just saw the way that the Dockers kept the ball alive. It was Main with the hand pass to Hill. And I'm deadly serious. Not many left footers kick so well on their right foot. It's just a fact of it. Have a look at that kick. That is a mongrel punt that just came back and got there.
Just a good answer for the Dockers too.
First goal to Garrick Ibbotson, his first for the season.
Playing at half-back too, boys.
Well, he does come up the ground, Naha, so the problem there is you're going to drag your opponent up as well. Jackson going to Pavlich.
Graham went early and did well, took the space of Sandilands. Get it to White. Wheels around, chisels the ball to Miller. It's ball by Grover. Hill.
Good handball.
To Mundy. Happy to share it. And they'll work the outer side. McPhee on the stretch. Couldn't take the mark. Richmond with numbers. Nahas again. Darting little run. Got it to Jackson. The give, the go, the getting. He'll put it towards the broadcast side. Bouncing ball for Hooley. Has a bit of space. Spotted him.
You've got to hit that target.
He had him, but he had time to gather the ball. Feeding handball. This is good work. Conker tried to get it to Hooley. Dockers defenders shut it down.
Gee, the kick from Hooley was disappointing. I mean, Brad Miller's worked hard in space. He'd competed with Grover on the other side of the corridor. He worked back as soon as they lost possession, and it was a simple kick under no pressure that cost him a shot at goal.
Sandilands parked his big frame. In front, King, Conker, eventually Hooley. No-look handball. Batchelor off a step towards Miller. He's got 3 to beat.
You know, it's hard not to be impressed with their defensive structure. Really.
Yeah,
they've got 3 good keys in McFarlane. They've got Johnson. They've also got Grover. And then you get the likes of Broughton and those guys.
Risky kick from Pitt. Pavlich went hard. Thought it might have been high on Jackson. Umpire didn't agree. Jackson goes again over the top. He did dive on the ball. This will be interesting.
Jason, you mentioned about Greg Broughton coming back. He had a sore back last week, and with Subin dropping out with that broken leg, he certainly gives him a better bite and rebound from that half-back line.
Just keep your eye on McPhee. Just giving a nudge to Delidio. Disguised it pretty well. Got away with it.
Going to have a tough day, Delidio, I think, with or physically anyway. Might be a bit too quick for McPhee. What do you think, James?
Well, Delidio's been a terrific performer for Richmond, and some say he should be in the midfield, but he does it so well off half-back. It's a big job for McPhee, actually.
Graham decisively to Conker. Pinned his ears, backs himself in and pushes it wide of the mark. Very wide indeed, out of bounds on the full.
Well, they're a point behind, but what I like about the Tigers is they're creating opportunities. They're having their share of the footy, and they're getting plenty of opportunities forward. In fact, they lead the inside 50s 7-2.
Yeah. Need to convert that, though, to scoreboard pressure.
Sandilands keen to move it in the direction of Palmer. McPhee, the boys said, job on Delidio. That's good offensive work. Pavlich paddles it to himself, keeps it to himself, put a handball into Van Berlo's path. Good tackle.
Good tackle.
Great tackle by Batchelor.
Reward that tackle, please.
Should be holding the ball.
Has to be.
In actual fact, they waited to see if he could get the ball out of the ball, but he should have been pinged before that because it was a beautiful tackle that he made no attempt to dispose of the footy from.
Conker, the boy from WA.
Delidio's running on hard. McPhee going with him. Got to use him and really try and hurt McPhee. There it is. Good kick.
Yeah.
Nahas.
And again.
Delidio down the line. Cochin.
And that's good. You've got to reward the hard running.
He'll look up.
Crowded forward line.
He puts it to Rewalt. He drags him forward. He wanted him to come at him. He eventually got there.
It mightn't have looked like a great kick, but at least it was out in front where Jack Rewalt can run and jump at the footy. So at worst, he's going to halve the contest and bring it to ground. They get a stoppage to reset.
So it's a small win.
Absolutely.
White from the throw-in. High ball.
Floater.
Big contest.
Getting back. Good luck marking it. Vickery attacked it. Unkind bounce. Favoured Johnson. Putting a disastrous year behind him last year. 6-week club imposed suspension. Richmond, another turnover. Penetrating ball wide.
Well, I guess he's a combination ruckman forward, Tyrone Vickery, but he's got to work out a way to compete better. That big high floating ball, he started man on man, but when the ball bounced, the Dockers player Johnson lobbed onto it 3 or 4 metres clear. He just lost his balance turning around.
And that's what his instructions would be. Tried to get it to ground and then run off him.
Pearce to Palmer. And eventually lower to Hill. He beautifully delivers it to Main. Easy movement of the ball.
Yeah, they ran hard. They had numbers up. And the hardest thing for defenders to actually defend against are the forwards running back towards goal. And it's difficult to try and track the footy and also track your opponent.
Yeah, the press is all well and good, but you've got to have a tight press. If you let them get through as easily as that, then the defenders have got no hope on their forwards.
Didn't kick a goal 2 weeks ago in their hard-fought win against the Bulldogs. 8 for the year. Picked number 40 in the 07 national draft. What a weapon inside 50 now for Fremantle. Chris Main rides the kick. It can't come back enough. Risky decision, and Main will get a second shot. Much better angle.
And a few of them going over to tell Dustin Martin about it, and I reckon Reece Palmer will be on the receiving end if he tries to get in the face of Dustin Martin. There's Adam McPhee. Not a lot of toughness when players get in the face of a player that's made an error, but I guess they're trying to get a psychological advantage.
Well, a chance to kick his 9th goal for the year. Second shot in the last 30 seconds. Main from 35.
Oh.
And that's a let-off. Big let-off.
Jacko said before the game they need to make the most of their opportunities. They're last in the competition for efficiency, and already we're seeing them 1 goal 3 from a couple of easy shots like that. You just got to kick those goals.
Brett Deledio, soon enough from Dustin Martin kicking it in. I'll take it, young man.
Good leadership.
Sometimes
maybe Dustin should get it back, but at least that's further from goal.
Yeah.
Ballantyne, he'll put it up towards Bradley. Richmond defenders combine. Poor bounce. Well, an unkind bounce on Edwards. Ballantyne again. Centering high ball. Hangs in the air. Fremantle with numbers. Big fly back of the pack, Van Berlo.
Dustin Martin hasn't had a touch. The reason he went and took that kick out is often on ballers when they're not getting the footy, they like to go back and just get a feel of the footy.
Nahas has been busy again. Kick was from Deledio, Batchelor.
Blood rule here.
So just picking up your point about Dustin Martin and David Mundy, do you change anything at the moment too? Are you happy with the status quo?
It's Cochin and Mundy. Cochin and Mundy that are going at it. Jackson's playing on Pavlich.
DeBoer's been going on
Martin. There you go. But I don't mind that. I like seeing quality midfielders go head-to-head like Cochin and Mundy, and you back your player in until it's not working.
Risky kick, Greg. Wall one.
You're worried about a couple of their options down back.
But they've shown this ability to still pull the trigger and back themselves in. That's a suggestion that confidence is slowly building.
Yep, absolutely.
Conker, first year of AFL football, played every game.
Should play on it.
Yeah, so look, they're happy to be deliberate when there's nothing really on, and that's fine. They'll be patient. They'll chip the ball around, but when there is an opportunity to play on, they will.
Nahas again.
That's good zoning from Freo. It actually made them kick it to an area that was more a contest than a chip to a free player.
He's had the most possessions of any player on the ground, Robin Nahas, with 7. The best for Fremantle. Mundy with 4. Sandilands just monstered Vickery into the path of Pavlich. Left foot kick is beautiful.
We said Fremantle was good work there to restrict the Richmond defence from running their ball out. Fremantle been the best in the competition this year at putting pressure on the opposition with their kick. They've only allowed them to hit the target 61% of the time. So that means that their press is good, that means it's tight, and that means there's not much room for error with the defensive kicks.
Jay Van Berlo, younger brother of Nathan from Adelaide, career best 4 goals against the Dogs in round 5. From 49 metres, it's a measured approach. It's on its way. Another miss.
Well, that's the other thing that happens is when you start to miss, it becomes contagious. And then it starts to get in the heads of all the players.
The other thing we said, Richmond, before the game, they need to tighten up their defence. Fremantle have had 6 inside 50s in this game, and they've got 1 goal 5.
6 shots a goal from their
6 from 6.
50s, yeah.
Newman, poor kick, Sandilands, always going to mark it. They'll put it forward again. It's a chipping ball. Not sure that was the intended target, but it got to the ball. The lay-off to Duffield, who measure the option. Good work by Grimes. Shut it down. Away go Richmond. They work it free.
Is that a lefty that didn't have a right foot?
And eventually, they managed to do it. Nahas, another possession.
Switch and take them on. They've got in switch here.
Chipping ball, Cochin.
Yeah, they've certainly got numbers out here waiting for it. Now, if he goes quick, Hurley, they're on.
That's what they're going to do. They've got to take him on.
Just needs to get the carry. It was a good effort by Grimes. No, it was Rance. It's a loose ball. It's alive again for Fremantle. Fife runs away from Conker.
Yeah, poor tackle from Conker. He had the chance to nail him.
And they'll patiently reset again. Ibbotson. Darting ball to McPhee. Controlling possession inside their forward half, Fremantle now.
The Hurley turnover, it was the right decision to change direction. It was just the wrong option of the 3 that he had to actually do it with.
Second option for McPhee was to square the ball nicely. Mundy. A lot of Richmond players back now.
Just about kick it, would he, Mundy? He's a beautiful kick.
Of the foot, isn't he? I think now he's just decided, I'm a chance. Although, gee, where the mark is, he's going to have to kick it 58 metres with a drop punt.
And he's got Garrick Ibbotson on his right-hand side here. Now Newman shut that down by dragging Jackson up.
He's going to give this a ride.
It'll be a big kick. What a player he's been.
Beautiful.
It is a big-looking bomb. That has almost got the line. No,
Gee, that's
touched.
I mean, to maintain the accuracy when you're at the real end of your tether as far as the range of your kick is concerned is a wonderful skill to possess, and he didn't deviate from his normal type of kick.
He's been a very durable player. Took him a while to get going. 135, 137 possible games for David Mundy.
Have a look at that for a kick in. That's a very nervous kick in. They're in a worse spot.
You wonder why coaches go grey or lose their hair. Rewalt, the big leap. Brought it to ground almost by default. Nahas again from Edwards.
Well, he had nothing to kick to further afield. That's why he chose to run back and try and link up.
He takes it upon himself. He's run down, great pressure.
But all he could see was a sea of white jumpers further afield. So they had to try and maintain possession. Just didn't have enough support.
And now controlling it inside their attacking half, Fremantle. After Richmond kicked the opening goal off Nahas. Ibbotson, the only other goal scorer. Clancy Pearce goes wide, kick to Main.
See, I don't like that. Sean Grigg, he was responsible for Main and he zoned off. He just thought, well, they're not going to kick it to him out there. And they did. I mean, it's okay to zone space, to cover space, but you've also got to cover your man.
2 behinds for Chris Main in this opening quarter. Tough shot.
Yeah, this is the toughest of the 3 by mile, so it's probably immoral to kick it after missing a couple of regulation shots.
Come around a bit.
To extend it out to an 11-point lead in the field of play. Kick is wide across the pack. Big fly by Fife. I think that's a mark. Play on's a call.
I thought it was a mark, and a few of his teammates think so too.
Bit stiff, and there's a surprise. Hayden Ballantyne just having a chat. Edge of the square. Fremantle in search of their second goal. Ballantyne. Now McPhee. Richmond. Grimes. Safety.
Well, I reckon they were very, very stiff there, the Dockers. Nathan Fife looked like he'd taken a beautiful mark. It wasn't paid. He'd be the judge. He looks like he gets hands on it there, and then he brings it down. That's a grab.
Conker with a high ball. Nahas has got to do the big man work, and he did it okay.
He did well.
Jakey King puts it forward. Martin, one out, foot race with De Boer. De Boer gets him for pace. Martin got him with the ball and possession. Good work. Great contest. Look at the numbers for Fremantle. Mundy mops up to lower the pressure.
He was really slow to react, Dustin Martin, up forward there. He actually should have got the ball
almost
first.
Slow, didn't he?
He didn't go for it to start with.
Fremantle winning the contested possession early. Fremantle 29, Richmond 17.
Pavlich in the rucking role. Fife did well. And then let himself down. Newman.
Switch in the middle now.
Darting kick. Half-volley clean pick-up by Conker. The run from Edwards. This is better. Now they push forward. Can go to Hooley. Can think about bombing it long. good. Long ball, deep, got the carry. What a goal!
Fremantle have had all the play for the last 5 or 10 minutes, and all they could manage was 1 goal 7. And as what happens with AFL football quite a bit, you go straight down the other end to an open forward line. And Basher Hurley, this is a big kick from about 57, 58 metres, and Dustin Martin held out De Boer, carried the line by only about 1 or 2 feet, but a great kick by Richmond, and all the scores are all tied up.
First goal for his new club, Basher Hurley. It's an important one. We're all squared away here, 13 apiece.
I reckon you'd go and tell your opponent, Hayden Ballantyne, about it too, because Ballantyne's a proven goal kicker. Hasn't got on the board yet, but his opponent has.
Settling into life nicely at punt road is Basher Hurley. Havlich to Fife.
Seemed a bit stiff to get moved on from Essendon, didn't he?
Yep. Sandilands, they all peel off. He'll just put it to the top of the goal square. Van Berlo, good contest.
Still hasn't had a possession, Dustin Martin. He's having a spell forward now after being up on the ball. Has not had a possession. He took a kick out, but it doesn't count as a
So
stat.
I'll pose that question. Do you do something differently with him to get him into the game?
Well, the only options you can do is go to another one of the Fremantle players and try and tag one of those guys, or do you make him learn and go through it and try and work with it?
The kick was through the corridor. Richmond had the numbers, but unfortunately Fremantle got possession.
Yeah.
Hill ends up with it.
Here's where you get punished. Again, it was the right option. It was the poor execution that caused the turnover. It was an exciting kick to an area where they could have really had a great attack from if you hit the target. Missed, you turn it over, and you're always going to get punished. Now, a good chance for Hill to get involved in the game too. He's had 3 possessions, but no real impact at this stage. Chance to get on the scoreboard.
Celebrated his 21st birthday during the bye, 4th in last year's best and fairest in only his 2nd year. Gets good momentum, gets good purchase, and pulls it to the right-hand side.
Cool.
Good carry on the kick.
Look at the scoreboard. 1-8.
Saw it in a bit of that in last night's game as well between the two teams at Amy Stadium.
Nearly cost Sydney a win today.
Yep. Do they do enough at training?
They do, but you just can't simulate the match pressure. That's the problem.
Cochin just wanted it more, willed himself to get it forward. Nahas didn't have possession. Foley, hands and knees. This is better. Miller needs to be clean and does. Goes to Vickery. Can get to 48 against the flow of traffic. Tyrone Vickery. Boy, that would have been handy.
Yeah, probably just the wrong player to be on the end of the chain of hand passes. He couldn't sprint clear and give himself time and space. They had the numbers running forward, the Tigers, but they're creating opportunities.
So McFarlane. Long ball to the big man Mountain. Couldn't take it. Pitt worried out of it. Foley starting to get some telling possessions.
Good vision.
Just need a good bounce, and they get
Vickery,
it. Newman doesn't have a shot at goal. Intelligent play.
Well, that is smart play, because there's no doubt Chris Newman could have made the distance. He is one of the best kicks going around. A beautiful long left foot, and most times in that situation, he would just unload. But why not give it to a bloke that's in the corridor? You just saw him on the right of screen, put his arms up. Vickery knew he was clear. He gets a set shot. 35 out, almost directly in front. Should be a certain goal.
Needs to kick it. 2 goals against Brisbane from his 10 possessions last week.
Kiss him dead. Has to kick it.
Looking to win their first quarter of the season. Vickery head over the ball. That's how it's done. Easy as that.
They're doing well. We said earlier they had 7-2 inside 50s early. Then it was all Fremantle. It's now 11 inside 50s apiece. 3 goals to 1 in Richmond's favour. Now that's a little bit deceptive, because the Dockers probably should have kicked 4 or 5 goals from the opportunities they've had. But what this does do is give great confidence to the Tigers in that they're in the contest. Mark Rashudo said they needed a good start. They've got a decent start. They've got to capitalise on it.
First goal for the afternoon. He turns 21 at the end of the month, and an important component of the ruck combination with Angus Graham. Just quickly, have you seen the Vickery-Graham combination with Sandilands?
Oh, look, you know that Sandilands is going to have a serious impact. It's a matter of how much you can just minimise it, I guess.
On cue. He wobbles it inside 50. Kepler Bradley and Clancy Pearce collided. Pearce had a good piece of it. And Newman can do it at both ends of the ground. What a player he's been for this young Richmond outfit.
Sandilands had 9 hit-outs to Graham's 3 at this stage.
He had 53, a career high, 2 weeks ago against the Bulldogs.
I think we'd be saying it'd be a lot more effective if they hadn't kicked 1-8. Maybe if they were 8-1, we'd be saying for Sandilands would be dominant.
Duffield, he plays on from the mark. McPhee, the fly, back of the pack, kick off the ground. Van Berlo, nest. Away they go for the moment. Rance, Pearce gets involved. First game for Fremantle this year. Spent previous 5 weeks with Swan Districts. On the rookie list, Clancy Pearce.
He's back on the ball, Dustin Martin, and just got the ball there, but still hasn't had a possession.
Pavlich, I should say. Eventually, Bradley. Pavlich again. Need to minimise the skipper. Mundy, all class. Came out of traffic. High ball. Bradley all on his own.
He worked hard. He was involved in the stoppage. The up and under went to space. He was the one that worked hardest to get there. In the end, it was virtually an uncontested chess mark, but this guy has worked and worked and worked to make himself an integral part of this lineup. He just works hard. He runs hard. He's also, despite an ungainly kicking action, their go-to goal kicker. He's kicked 11-3 for the year. He's the one that hopefully will break the hoodoo where they've kicked 1-8 already.
We just chalk it down then, do we?
Absolutely.
Steady, boys. Put the gun back in the holster for a moment. Let's see how we go. Kepler Bradley. Fremantle's new Lee Brown. Put it down. Easy as that. 12-3 for the year.
Probably deserve to kick a goal and get back level pegging with Richmond. They have been the dominant side for most of this first quarter. The ball's been in their forward 50 for most of the game so far, but you said it right. Kepler Bradley was involved in the stoppage. He was the only real guy that went for the ball. He's a big fella, and have a look at him. He didn't have a look at whoever was coming. He just attacked the ball, took it on his chest. Really, it was ended up a pretty easy mark, but more importantly, went back and kicked the goal.
Well, fantastic goal by Kepler Bradley, 12-3. That's outstanding conversion for the season. I'll tell you what I love about Richmond thus far, Root. Martin has not had a possession. Jack Riewoldt had 1 hand pass. Trent Cotchin's had only the 4 possessions, and yet they're square.
And Delidio's only had 3.
So their stars aren't touching it, but they're square. That is a great start for them.
Sandilands, again Mundy involved. Martin didn't have possession.
Played for a free.
Pushing forward, Miller. Wanted the free kick. Nahas, good tackle on Ibbotson. Edwards to Martin.
Oh.
Just a little bit out of sorts at the moment, Dustin Martin. He's had a great start to the year. And Pavlich will put a bouncing ball into the path of the hard-working Kepler Bradley. And it's a great story for kids out there who may not necessarily be the best player, Rube, but hard work gets rewards.
Oh, he's just battled on for years and years, and that's right. If you miss the under-18s or you don't get selected in the draft, you just got to keep fighting. There's more mature age players getting picked up now than ever before, so keep the head down and have a crack.
The ball got the extracting handball from Hill. Bradley involved again, couldn't take the clean ball. Mundy, normally so clean, did well on the second attempt. Handball frees up to ball to Bradley. Wants to get in on the action again. Ballantyne fumbled at top of the square. And that would have hurt. But Richmond, you've got to give them this one. Haven't won a first quarter so far in 2011. But they finished equal with Fremantle at quarter time. 3-2, 20 apiece from the MCG. Overcast conditions. Round 7 continues.